it's review time! And if you can tell from the poster behind me, yes, we're going to be finally talking about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which came out not too long ago, surprisingly. And yeah, I did see the critical scores that the critics gave it and the audience members gave it. Really? We're really sinking that low, movie critics? Oh well, time to do what I know I can do best. Talk about movies and review them. Now, before we actually do start, I may, in fact, if you guys want me to do another video where it's a spoiler video, because this is going to be a spoiler-free video for anyone who hasn't watched the movie yet, but if you all have seen the video and you already know the spoilers, then welcome in, and you already know what we have to deal with. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. So, our story follows a man named Mike. Spoiler, already gonna give one spoiler out because we already know from all the news, yeah, it's Mike Schmidt. Anyway, Mike, played by Jeff Hutcherson. It's really a hard last name to say, especially with the first name. Anyway, he's pretty much a down-on-his-luck guy that has just gotten fired from a bunch of jobs while he's trying to take care of his younger sister, Abby. Well, he gets called on by a guidance counselor of jobs. Actually, I don't think they explained what the guy before in that office was, because we know the guy replacing is of course, William Afton, aka, Matthew Lillard, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, Stu from Scream, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, he's giving him a job at Freddy's, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where, of course, his main job is to stay there 5 nights, check on the security monitors, make sure nothing gets out or in. Wait. Scratch that. The second thing was supposed to be first. See, I did the thing from basically the game or anything, but, I kind of messed it up. Anyway, so yeah. Most of the rest of the movie is just Mike basically going to that place, dealing with stuff and keeping an eye on things. Oh yeah, there was one other thing he had to take care of. Oh yeah, the 5 murderous animatronic robots that live there. And this big bad boy right here is the leader of them. Yeah, I just had to try and find a cute image of Freddy. Just look at him just be like, huh? Something like that. That's the voice I imagine. They give him the random encounters like Freddy voice, which would be so funny. Anyway, so Mike isn't alone in this. He has his younger sister Abby trying to help him, and he has this cop named Vanessa Shelley, if you will, basically, just trying to help. And, stop the animatronics and basically find out the secret of what happened to this place and find out more of its dark and terrible secrets. Something like that. Alright, so now that I've pretty much talked about the story of the movie, let's get down to business and talk about how I feel about this movie personally when I watched it. Yeah, I didn't go to the theater to watch this movie, so I didn't get, an awesome fan reaction from people who were in the theater. We watched it at Peacock, so it was kind of a quiet, sitting experience, but we had our own, little moments that we had. So, what do I honestly think about this movie as a whole? Well, after 8 years of waiting for this movie to finally come out, I could safely say it's an average, decent movie. Yeah. I'm not pretty much hopping on the bandwagon of, everyone saying, oh, it's the worst movie that's out there, it's the worst video game movie that's out there, or it's, the best, perfect FNAF movie. My honest opinion, it's average, but decent. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some good stuff in this movie. For starters, I love what they did with the animatronic characters in this movie. They look so good. Props to the Jim Henson Creature Shop for making these costumes and these animatronic suits. They did such a perfect job. Setting-wise, honestly, feels like the game in some weird, twisted universe way. It looks like the game, basically. Casting choice, I thought they did a pretty good job. Jeff Hutcherson, kind of iffy a bit because he has the same facial expression throughout the whole movie. And the fact that he looks tired, which I'll talk about the reason why for that in the spoiler video if you guys want me to do a spoiler video. Matthew Lillard, I feel like he was kind of misused in this movie a little bit. Well, don't get me wrong, seeing him in the no spoilers, seeing him in that suit in the trailer and in the movie was good, and he played a good character. I wish we could have seen more of him, though. because we only get to see him for, like, the beginning and the end. I'll talk more on that again in the spoiler video. The other things that might be the biggest problem for this movie is the lore. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of lore in this. If you're Five Nights at Freddy's fan, you will see a bunch of lore in this. It's just done differently. I feel like they could have changed a few things with the lore here and there. Like, fully gone with the Michael Afton story, aka Mike Schmidt, basically. And that's my dog barking for no reason, so ignore that. But other than that, I'm just gonna move over for a sec. Other than that, it's an average, decent movie. So I would say I give this movie a solid 7.1 out of 10. If you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, you will definitely enjoy this movie for a lot of the references that it gives and the Easter eggs to all the other games that it shows. You will maybe question the lore a bit, but if you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, you'll definitely love this movie. I know I definitely enjoyed it, even though it's average and decent. So who knows? Maybe when they do greenlight the possible sequel that's coming out, maybe from the funding that they get from this film, because it made a ton of money, surprisingly. So with the funding that they got from this movie and the money they made back for it, maybe they'll add some more lore in the sequel. Who knows? Who knows?